Right, hello and welcome to another Dauntless Development video. Now, this is a devlog of sorts. If you've been following the devlogs, or if you are simply watching this at a later date and you're looking at the dates, you'll see that I have not made a devlog this week, and I haven't really worked on the VR tower defense game that I was working on, and that's because I took a break because I was encountering a lot of bugs and it was very frustrating. So I thought makes sense to take a step back and come back at it a bit more refreshed. So what I decided to do when I took this break from this game was to make another game. Now, I didn't make this from scratch. I did a lot of work on this app a long time ago. I believe I mentioned in an earlier video that I was working on a mobile app that I scrapped, uh, but it was so close to kind of some form of publishable product that it was just constantly hanging over me in the back of my head that I had something just about ready for publishing. I just needed to put that little bit extra work in. So since I was a bit bored of my current project, I decided, well, let's go back to the project I was bored of a long time ago and finish that thing off. Just so I've got something that's published. It's called. So I'll just move this over. There we go. So it's called Grapple Guy. Very interesting name, I know. Just gonna go for some simple alliteration. And the idea of it is you simply kind of swing, kind of like Spider-Man or whatever, swing from point to point, and you try to get as far as possible whilst collecting coins and avoiding lasers and stuff. So it's a very simple concept, but you obviously, I don't want to put too much complexity into a mobile app anyway. So I try to my kind of methodology, is that the right word? One of the key principles I tried to follow was I wanted everything to be done with a single finger of the like touching the screen, because I don't want to make the controls complicated, because I've played games with complicated controls on mobile before and you end up pressing the wrong buttons all the time. It's a bit fiddly. Virtual controllers just don't really work very well, especially if you're in a portrait game like this is. Of course, I could have made it landscape, but I think it's better suited to a portrait orientation. But yeah, so this is the menu screen when you start it up. Obviously, it comes up with Made in Unity at the start because I only have the personal license. So you can play the game, you've got upgrades, and you've got options. So in the options, it's pretty simple. You've got sound, which you can turn on or off, and you've got an FPS counter, which you can turn on or off. And originally, this was just for development purposes, but I thought, why not let people have access to a FPS counter? I know that when I'm playing games on the computer, I like to see my frames, so why not on mobile? And then the upgrades page, you can spend your coins that you collect on various things, and then be able to be able to kind of upgrade and make things a bit better. So press play, and when it loads, there we go. So the idea is you swing, and you can see there's a little green marker which comes on which grapple point you're attaching to, and obviously the gun turns with the kind of rope, and you swing through these rings. So the yellow ones, or golden, give you a boost to coins. The green ones with the arrows pointing forward give you a boost to your speed. And the blue ones, and if you hit laser, you die. Now, there are ads in this, of course. It's a free app, and I wanted to put some form of monetization in. I also kind of just wanted to get grips with the ad system. So that means if I make something a bit perhaps more professional in the future, that I know how the ad system works. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure on how the ad system works because it's a bit of a mess. But yeah, so you can press yes to watch an ad, or you can press no to not continue. So if I press yes, then obviously when you're in the PC it says this, but normally it would show an ad. And then obviously you can close it after the 30 seconds or however long this ad, because this is a rewarded ad. You can't skip it. And then, or if you can skip it, it'll skip the reward or something like that. But I think with Unity it just doesn't allow you to skip with Unity ads. But yeah, the blue one with the arrows pointing up gives you a boost kind of forward and up, so it's like a bit of a jump. And obviously you can collect all these coins around. So you can see at the top of the screen, you've got coins in the top right, and you've got like a gem. So you can collect gems various points throughout the level. They're a lot rarer. I believe by default I set it so you won't see your first one until about 1,000 meters. And then they've got a chance of spawning every kind of spawn point, but the chance increases the further you go, and you can buy upgrades to increase the chance. So these sound effects that you're hearing, the actual grapple sound itself when it connects I found that online in an open source assets, not open source, but you know what I mean, free, license free. Yeah, and just to point out here, when you've revived once, you can't do it again, but you can double your rewards by watching an ad if you want, or you can just hit no. And then it comes up at the end here, the previous best distance, your new best distance. So obviously if you haven't beaten it, it'll just come up with the previous one again. Previous most coins in one run, and then the new most coins in one run. And then you can either restart to play the game again, or you can go to the menu. And then we're back at the menu. So these upgrades, you can upgrade the coin spawn rate, the amount of coins you get from the coin rings. You can upgrade the speed rings, the jump rings, the gem spawn rate, the gem spawn points. So the gem spawn rate increases how many, by what chance per spawn point that a gem will spawn. And then the gem spawn point upgrade increases how many spawn points there are. So obviously that increases the spawn chance a lot more than this one. But so you could have two, one after the other, whereas this is always going to be one kind of every 1,000 meters potentially. But even then, it's not guaranteed. And then you can upgrade your max speed, because the max speed is limited. So at the beginning, I believe you can't go any faster than 13 meters per second. But obviously, as time goes on, you'll be able to upgrade that and you'll be able to go faster. So yeah, as I was saying, I'll just move back to here. So the sound effects, the grapple itself when it connects is that was from a website of like free sound effects, what's it called, CC0 license. So yeah, that was Creative Commons, I think it's called. But yeah, the point is it's a free asset that you can use. Because I tried making my own sound for that, but I just couldn't manage it. I couldn't make anything that sounded good. But the kind of whooshing sound I made myself, I like to make my own assets wherever possible, just because it avoids any headaches of licensing, and also it feels like it's more original, rather than kind of taking a whole load of assets from loads of different places and putting it together. I like to try and create everything I can. So the other assets in this, so the actual grapple gun itself, I made using ProBuilder. It is, I will admit, it's not very good. I'm probably going to update it, because at the time when I made this, because I started work on this originally a good few months ago, and then I just abandoned it. But since then, I've now got a lot more comfortable using Blender, so I can probably make a much better model in Blender than what I would have using ProBuilder. And if you're not aware, by the way, ProBuilder is it's a kind of a way of making 3D models kind of in Unity. It's really good for environments, kind of like you can make like easy staircases and stuff, and you can make kind of really blocky things. But I wouldn't recommend using it to try and do anything too detailed, because it just kind of, I mean, you can do it, you 100% can, it is capable, but it's a lot more difficult to do anything, and you can't really get the same detail as you can with a proper 3D modeling piece of software. But it's really good for quite kind of prototyping models and stuff like that. What else is there? The coins and the gems were free assets on the Unity Asset Store. And what else is there? All the kind of UI stuff I made myself, except the text, the font. The font, that's one thing that I didn't make myself. And I'll just, 1 second. Yeah. So I got the font from this website here called kenny.nl. Now, this is just a website that I would recommend to any developers. They've got a whole load of assets that you can download for free. You can also pay. You can also buy them in bundles, but all the bundles are just kind of packs, all the free assets bundled together. It's more of a donation kind of thing. But obviously, if you haven't got really much of a budget, like me at the moment, you can download all sorts of assets. So you can get 3D models, 2D assets like UI stuff. You can get sound effects. I believe. So yeah, you've got all sorts of UI stuff here. I believe you can get some voiceover. Yeah, voiceover pack, and there's all sorts. And there's more. I believe there's more added relatively frequently. So it's definitely worth a look at this website. But as I said, the only thing I used from here was the fonts. So it was Kenny fonts, because I did not like any of the default fonts that were available, and well, these are free, so why not use them? And I don't know how to make my own fonts, so this is what I went for, and I think it turned out quite well. The UI definitely isn't perfect. I'm not an artist. I drew this, and as you can see, I'm not an artist. That is about the extent of my art skills. I find 3D modeling for some reason a lot easier than actual just drawing even a stick figure. But yeah, so this is you can reset your data here in the options. So if you want to just wipe everything and start again, you can press that button, highlight it in red just so it's clear what it is. As I said, you can turn the sound effects off if you want. There's a banner ad that's always on. It's at the bottom. The way I've kind of set up the game, when you're playing it, I've just realized. Oops, one moment. I've realized that I'm still looking at Kenny. Okay, so I'll just restart this. Yeah. So there we go. Right. So as I said, options, you can reset your data down at the bottom. That was what I was saying. And I drew this stick man as well. I was saying. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So when I hit play, so there's a banner ad at the bottom. As you can see, I was cautious of adding a banner ad. They don't pay out a lot in terms of ad revenue anyway, but obviously it's a passive thing that's always there. But it really doesn't intrude on the game space, so I thought, why not? If I get any feedback that says it's a particularly detrimental thing, then I might remove it, but I doubt it. I don't think I'll get a huge amount of feedback anyway. But yeah, I mean, this is just kind of, well, it's currently, I'll just switch back to this. And this is the first game that I've finished. Well, it's the first game I've finished alone, outside of university. So this is the first game I've started, drawn up the ideas myself, and finished completely alone. And now, as I said, I know it's not perfect, but it's my first one. It's not quite published onto the store yet. So this is only going to be on Android for now, on the Google Play Store. Because I've paid for a developer license, which I think is about £25, or I think it's actually less than that. I think it's $25. So I think it's about £20. But yeah, so I've paid for that license to get it on there, but that's a one-time fee. Whereas if I wanted to put it on the Apple Store, it's $100, I believe, per year. And obviously, if I'm not guaranteed to get anything from it, if say this doesn't attract any attention, then I would just be $100 a year gone. So I'm putting it on Android, on the Play Store, and if that makes $100 in from ad revenue, then I'll put that money straight into buying the license to put it on the iOS store as well. But yeah, I'm not certain on whether it will make anything. I don't know. As I said, this is the first thing I've published. I've not done anything like this before. But I kind of wanted to just get it done so I can say that I've published something. So yeah, this is the kind of the one and only devlog of this series. So I'm not gonna dedicate its own playlist or anything like that. I'll probably just stick it in the playlist with the other devlogs. But yeah, I took a break from my game to make another game, and it hasn't turned out terrible. I don't think. As I said, if I get any attention on this, I'll put some more work on it. I'm going to replace the model, and I'm probably going to add in some form of not in-app purchases, as in I don't want you to. It depends. If it went really big, obviously, then I would put some in-app purchases in because I do like money. But I kind of want, at the moment, in the current state of the game, the gems that you collect that are kind of the prized thing that you can collect don't do anything. They're just something you can build up a hoard of gems and just watch the number tick up. What my original plan was to have a store inside that you can spend gems to do certain things, like purchase specific upgrades or possibly abilities or something like that. So there's a lot of things I had planned, but basically I cut that all back just so I could publish it now. And then if it does okay, then I'll add the stuff. But I think it was going to be me focusing too much time on something which realistically I don't have a lot of confidence in, and if I wasted loads of time on it, then I would just be wasting loads of time. And I am somewhat of a perfectionist when it comes to things, so I know that if I kept on adding things and kept on adding things and kept on refining it, I would never finish and I would never be happy with it. So I thought I'm just going to bite the bullet, get it to what I've called the minimum viable product, and publish that. And that's what this is. So, as I said, the UI could do with touching up, but I don't really have the best art skills. But most of the functionality is there. I mean, the main thing was the swinging, just being able to swing and see how far you can get. I think it's quite fun. I can sit and play it myself for a good 20 minutes, so if I enjoy it, maybe somebody else will. That's my hope anyway. Just got to hopefully get seen on the App Store. Plus, it's under review by Google at the moment. I don't know what that review entails. It certainly doesn't have any graphic content or anything to be rejected for not being appropriate or anything like that. I don't know if they have some kind of like quality standard that they review for as well. I hope that I've met that, but you never know. So what I'll do is if this does get approved, which I'm assuming it will, I'll probably provide a link to the Play Store, either on a card or in the description, or maybe both. But yeah, that's all for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.